So I've been watching your educational videos,
I see.
and I'm really, yeah, I think it's really helpful because you gave some really startling stats when it comes to Alzheimer's. And so one of the things that I really love is you're talking about how our body is like a car, right? A car is always having to change its oil and keep the maintenance, and that there is really no cure at this point in time. So what additional information can you give to people out there who's looking to really get ahead of the curve, if you will, if that's possible?
Sure. So we think that about 35% of one's Alzheimer's disease risk can be eliminated by following good brain health habits. So one example is on our website, healthybrains.org. We have the 6 pillars of brain health. These consist mainly of keeping yourself active, physically, mentally, and socially active, but also taking care of other medical problems, which are risk factors for developing memory loss, making sure to get rest and relaxation and recreation, and also making sure to sleep properly. So getting ahead of Alzheimer's disease, and for some people this will mean actually preventing themselves from getting Alzheimer's disease, really involves a lot of the stuff that our grandparents told us. Get out and play, hang out with your friends, read, learn something. These are all things that actually are really, really good for our brains and help to make them more resilient to the things that come along with aging, to the things that come along with head trauma and so forth.
Well, as we get older, I think we often become more forgetful, but I even see that younger people are kind of going through that. So does that mean that that's an indication for us, or is that just part of us getting older? When does it become something that we should start being concerned about?
Yeah, that's a great question. So often it's hard to tell, but some of the things that are sort of markers that something may be going on more than just senior moments or being a little bit tired, when information is lost. So not when you're a little bit slow to come up with information, but when you have blank spots. When you forget things very rapidly and completely. So that might show up as repeating yourself in conversations, not remembering having gone somewhere, putting an item down and having no idea when you find it how it got there. These are all things that imply that the brain is kind of skipping and glitching and missing information, as opposed to it being stored and just having a hard time pulling it out. Now, we may be seeing younger people who are noticing cognitive changes more. Partly, I think we're more sensitive to that. People understand that there's this disease that's there and it starts off with little things. But I think a good part of it may be our life cycle, our daily cycles now don't match very much what our bodies and brains are intended to do in terms of how late we stay up, how early we get up. We don't walk to get our food, right? We generally drive to get our food. We tend to eat a lot more processed food than we used to, and it appears that the closer to nature food is, the better it is for you. So there are a lot of things that we do, even as young people, that make it tougher for our brains to function, and we notice it as a little bit of slowing down. The older we get, the more vulnerable we are to those little things.
Well, I appreciate everything that you're doing. I think this is such important work, especially with Cleveland Clinic, and of course being here at the Power of Love, fundraising to bring awareness and to bring out more research. And so hopefully that the future looks brighter and that we can get this research done, right?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for your interest. Spreading the word really, really helps.
Thank you, Doc.